Every time I tell myself that I'm okay, it feels like the days that screaming from your soul. We watch it fall. Now you come to walk on. Come on, set your light through. Just set your light through before we're only whispers in the wind. You can turn my world upside down in a rush like I've not felt before. I can't trust myself. I need you to make it turn. I know. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't wait our romance. We'll never be the same again. I could keep the light from turning into darkness. You'd be my escape. What have we been told? Easy to unfold. Future might seem average, but we're getting close. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me? We won't leave it to chance. We can't wait our romance. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again. Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the
How's it going, everybody? It is your world champion Watkins here, bringing you another episode of the Weebs of the Ring podcast, joined, of course, by the genius of the mat, Drop This Box. Welcome, everybody. We're doing a little bit of an early show this week with the SmackDown because, hey, they're in Saudi Arabia and all that. So, welcome, everybody who are returning guests, returning listeners, and all that. Love to hear you guys. Love to see you guys in the chat. Let's make sure you get the chat popping tonight. But of course, if you're new here, well, who exactly are we? Well, we're some guys. We have anime in our souls. We got thoughts of wrestling out of control, and we love the entertainment of professional wrestling. So allow us to be the voices inside of your head as we go through this wrestling event of the evening, give our thoughts and predictions on what's to come, and provide an experience inclusive to all you nerds out there. So be sure to grab your steel chair, yell for the table, get put through an experience unlike any other. We're brought to you by Anime Week Studios, and again, this is the Weaves of the Ring podcast. Our normal smack diggity down adventures will be had tonight, even though there are some technical issues going on with the show, but we'll talk about those as we go by. Of course, again, as always, I'm your world champion Watkins. Drop, how you doing tonight? It's a early show for us, and I'm excited to get into some things here with SmackDown tonight. But how you doing today?
Yeah, I'm excited to touch on a couple things here with this show because when it came to my experience with the show earlier, I ended up finding a feed to watch SmackDown, and then a lot of people knew earlier in the day we had technical difficulties right towards the beginning of the show. It was like off air for like a good 30 to 40 minutes or so. So that kind of took me out of it for a little bit. And then for some bizarre reason, like things just kept going back and forth where it's like I saw certain matches start, then I saw matches finishes, almost like I saw them in the ring, and then matches just finished right off the bat. It was just like a really crazy feed that I experienced. But other than that, though, I was able to make out what happened within the show itself. I mean, at least with the things I cared about, I was able to spend some time with. But then there was a couple things that, like, you know what, even though I missed that a little bit, it's not gonna really bother me. But yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff like early on, like in the first hour or so, they were fine. They were all right, but like not a lot to write home towards. Except for like the Cody and Randy bit, which we'll get into here in just a minute. But I do kind of want to start us off tonight. I want to start us off with our world title picture on SmackDown, our WWE title picture. We have John Cena taking on CM Punk for one final time in Saudi Arabia, taking place tomorrow at Night of Champions. And look, the internet can say what they want about this. This segment was fun as hell. So basically what happens, everybody, is John comes out to his usual shtick of, hey, I have like my music still playing, my lack of a Titantron, lack of any color whatsoever except for what's on my shirt. But he comes out there, kind of says his same spiel, and then basic thuganomics kicks in. And I almost screamed at work because I had this on at work. And as soon as that came on, I'm like, wait, no way. No way Punk's doing this. And out comes Punk, as you saw in our thumbnail, dressed as Doctor of Thuganomics, John Cena. But he's not just a Doctor of Thuganomics. No, this is the basic Punkonomics. And CM Punk cuts a promo very akin to like 2003 John Cena, when like during his rapper gimmick, during the whole Doctor Thuganomics stuff. I thought this was a lot of fun. You could kind of tell that Punk had to kind of rehearse this and memorize his lines for this, but there were some good things to come out of this segment. But before we dive into like the stuff said, I guess what were your overall thoughts, Drop, on Punk coming out like this? Did you cringe a little bit, like most of the internet seems to have, especially when it comes to Punk and his quote unquote hypocrisy and all that? Like, what was your takeaway with all this?
I personally enjoyed the segment itself too because when I heard it at first, it caught me off guard, and then I saw Punk come out like, okay, this makes sense because last week he ripped off his pipe bomb, so obviously in return, Punk was gonna do something special. Also considering it's the 1 year anniversary of the pipe bomb itself. So obviously something was gonna come out of that, and you weren't gonna have CM Punk and John Cena not do anything until tomorrow's show, because it was more in Cena's hands last week. So now this week it's more in Punk's hands. And yeah, I didn't really have any issues with it compared to people online. Maybe it's different for us because we've been around the product for so long and we're from a different era. Because I notice a lot of the criticism comes from a lot of newer people in this generation of wrestling, where one thing happens and then all of a sudden it's like the end of the world. You can't really come back from it or whatever. Because when me and you were growing up and we seen stuff like this happen, usually it's like, okay, whatever happened, we move on, we progress, we do what we need to do in order to move the product, and then we just continue watching the show. So yeah. I didn't really have any issues with this at all, to be honest.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like pro wrestling should be fun. Like, and I'm not saying, oh, you should just shut up and have fun. But it's just like, because I get it, because this isn't everybody's cup of tea and all that. But like at the same time, just you don't really have to shit on it completely, and to really like. And I get it with the whole hypocrisy with Punk. Like I get it, I understand it. But here's the thing too: people can learn, people can grow, people can be different. Oh my God! Wait, you can't be showing me Funko Pops right now. Who are these? Who are these people? Hold on.
So I just saw this. They have Jade, Punk, Roman, Road Dogg, and Billy Gunn, and then Damian Priest getting the Money in the Bank briefcase. The CM Punk Funko Pop they have is him doing the pipe bomb.
Okay, I might have to get that Punk one. I'm not gonna lie. That might get me back into the Funko Pop thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great. And yeah, for this to happen on the 14 year to the date too, I think.
Yeah,
like
that's pretty crazy.
To the day.
Actually.
Yeah, like 14 years after the pipe bomb, we get Doctor of Punkonomics. Like it's just great, man. Like the timing of it, just like it's moments like that where it's just like you live through things like that, and it means something even more just living through moments like this. But I do have, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna share this tweet with you as well.
Oh, yeah.
A tweet that had all like everything laid out from what Punk said and all that. Because I kind of want to like just highlight a few of my favorite lines from this.
I didn't realize Cena was dressed up as Barney tonight.
Right? I thought the same thing too. Like he walks out there, I'm like, oh, Barney this dinosaur. Are you gonna actually turn face and say that you love us now? Is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I would have loved that. But yeah, I'm gonna post this into our little chat here. If it'll let me. There we go. All right, so that's in our team chat. To kind of help with that. But I think the first line that got me, it was very early on, where Punk is just like, you had to rip me off to cut your best promo just to distract from the fact that we all see you move in slow-mo. I'm like, oh, Punk's about to cook here.
Yeah.
He's about to lay you down on the coals and just like saute you. Like, oh, you're spit roasting him right now, just like the goat comment you made a couple weeks ago. Good on you, Punk. What was another? What was one that kind of caught your ear?
Well, I do like that opening one that you mentioned, because that's one of the criticisms with John Cena as of late, because a lot of people took note that whenever you see him in the ring, he's moving around slow, he's doing certain things, he's not really out there like he used to, and granted, he's getting older, so he can't really do all that stuff anymore. But that is something that's like pretty apparent with him, which is why when a lot of people see him going up against so-and-so, they're like, oh yeah, we'll see how long this match is going to go, or what shenanigans are going to come out of it to make it entertaining. But I feel like the thing that I really like about this opening segment, like the way that Punk started it off, is that he's kind of speaking for a lot of people that are watching the product, that probably say things like this to themselves or other people, because a lot of the stuff that I did see him say, I mean, that it's stuff I see online all the time. So they
Oh,
do
yeah.
take note of what people say, because that's why I can never buy into the thing where it's like, oh yeah, we just pay attention to what we're doing. We don't really look online. It's like, yeah, because
Yeah,
we
no,
want
that's
Cody was
complete
never a
BS.
thing. We want truth. If we want Cody, we want truth was never a thing. We would have never got what we
Yeah.
wanted. So I don't buy into that
The
shit.
response, I mean, not to like go off on a little bit, but like the response to Karrion Cross, for example,
Oh
like
yeah,
earlier in the day, for them at least, with the that kickoff show or whatever,
yeah,
like that's more than just online stuff, that's
yeah.
in life stuff. But like
Oh yeah.
you still get that online too.
Yeah.
But like there were some lines though, that Punk, it was not too good. Like this whole like Temu Macklemore
Yeah.
with Mackle-less rhythm, I was like, I don't know about that. This one though about he said I'm a problem. He called me a player hater. Let's be honest, John Cena's buried more talent than The Undertaker. I'm like, I'm sitting there thinking, has Undertaker really buried talent, or is that just a play with him being like a dead man or something?
Yeah, I feel like it's a double entendre, because
Okay.
when it comes to like rap, because like I grew up listening to Eminem and stuff like that,
Hmm.
a lot of the times when like Eminem writes a certain bar, there's like more than one meaning to it. So one of the complaints about John Cena growing up was the fact that he was Super Cena whenever there was this superstar that had a lot of hype around him and they went up against John Cena. He ended up burying them, and then you never end up seeing them again. So that could be like the first meaning for it. And then the thing with The Undertaker, I mean, dead man, buried alive matches, etc., so on. I mean, it writes itself there. So that's probably what that means.
Yeah.
I do know Undertaker was a pretty big thing back then, and Vince did
Oh,
push
yeah.
him to do certain things above other people. But
Yeah.
I think it probably has to do with the whole dead man gimmick.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but like I wasn't 100% sure because I couldn't remember like many stories on Taker like burying talent or anything. So
Yeah.
good on that. But like that, it was like that one in the Macklemore line. I was like, okay, I see where you're going with one of these, but the other one,
Yeah.
eh.
Yeah, the Macklemore
He
one
also,
I didn't get as much, but like the one after
yeah.
that with the Taker, I liked.
Well, like that's the thing. It's like he tried to make it work with the Mackle less rhythm, but it's like he even kind of said it weird, so it's like
Yeah.
whatever with that one. Um, Boston Mall Cup one, it's whatever. Da, 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 da. Oh, this one. I mean, he kind of said it weird, but this whole one about like, but hey, he gets good movie roles. That much is a fact. And then you see Batista act, and you realize John ain't that. And it's like, I mean, you're not wrong,
Yeah, because
but
Batista has been getting like bigger roles than John Cena, especially when
mhm,
it came to him being a part of Guardians in the Galaxy. I mean, you're part of the MCU. You're pretty much out there doing a lot of good things, and those movies did very well too.
yeah. But after this is for me at least. This is where Punk really started cooking because it's like same shirt, same hat. Man, your persona stayed tragic. You're like a fish-bellied white Hulk Hogan, but somehow more problematic. I'm like, oh, you're calling him worse than Hogan? Hulk Hogan, who like was on recordings saying horrible things, the man who like constantly put people down in 3 decades,
Yep.
80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Yeah.
Like that was a bit of a low blow, but like it got even
Yeah.
lower than that.
Oh yeah.
um I don't know, do you have any thought, any comments with the Hogan line?
Oh yeah. I mean that's just a regular thing in the community. I mean, people are calling
Yeah.
Giulia a Hogan just because she beat Zelina tonight. But I mean, people
I
just
mean,
throw around that term just because they don't like certain people or whatever. But I mean,
yeah.
I can't really blame people for having that mindset with John Cena growing up, because he was pretty
Oh yeah.
much written to be that kind of character. So I can't really argue against that.
Yeah, like from what, 2007 to maybe 2015 ish,
Yep.
like that whole Super Cena era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
That's why you brought up Matt Cardona last week, Claudio Castagnoli, and what was the other one? It was like
Shoot. Claudio, Matt Cardona. Oh my gosh, I can't remember now. I can't
Yeah.
remember now.
Basically, I know those three names he
Yeah.
went up against him, and he stole their hype.
Nick Nemeth.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
stole their hype.
Yep. When it comes to best in the world, I'm your vessel because millions chant my name, and at you they chant you can't wrestle. That might be one of my favorite lines he had in this whole thing
Mm-hmm.
because it really like just kind of it rolled off the tongue. Like even just saying it right there, like it rolled off really well, and kind of feels like a line that Punk would say anyways. Yeah, and again, just kind of playing upon him being best in the world, and the one thing that seems to be getting at heel Cena, which is the whole "you can't wrestle" chant. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, people will chant or sing, "Oh, John Cena sucks," or like be like, "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." But it's the moment that people say he can't wrestle that he starts like emoting more, which is interesting. I don't understand why that's the reason behind it. Like, is it just people just downplaying him and he just doesn't like that, or like he's just so uh, he's just so insecure with himself? I guess, at least with this character, that it's like, oh, I can wrestle people. Like I can do this. How dare you? I can do this. Watch me do this. See, I can do my 5 moves. I can do more than that. I can wrestle, right? Like it's just interesting that that's the one thing that seems to always get under this heel Cena skin.
yeah.
Mm. Ah, get in while you can. In 6 months, he'll be gone. I'll still be here having fun. He won't have time for you little people anymore. He'll be busy washing underwear for James Gunn. How's that Peacemaker going for you, John?
Yeah,
Season 2 coming out? What, August?
think so.
Oh man, just watching James Gunn's underwear. That got a good chuckle out of me. Like again, I was trying to hold myself back at work, but I was like, oh, I want to like go off on this because that one was great. And I mean, Punk continued on. He's a superhero now. He works for DC, but no matter how hard you try, you'll always be the Marine to me. And that's straight to DVD. Better find a PS3. I now understand you can't see me. Um, just mentioning PS3s and DVDs again. I love you, Punk. Thank you for that. Um, but I mean, again, just more downplaying just John Cena and his career just as a whole. And I mean, this is kind of a piggyback towards his comments with like the Batista line, where it's like, yeah, you can try to be an actor, but Batista's kind of better than you. I'm I'm surprised he didn't say anything about the Miz being better than him and all that.
Yeah.
But hey, it's a hell of a catchphrase, John, but now it's done because we all see you and we're looking at a washed up bum. Pretty straightforward with that, I think. 14 years ago, I dropped a legendary pipe bomb, and you tried to make it all about you because that's what you do, John. You're a leech, you're a phony, you're a fraud, you're an ass kiss. 17-time champion, but you ain't ever been on my class. That one didn't really roll off the tongue too well. I feel like that was just Punk being Punk, so
Yeah.
all right, cool. Uh but this line, oh, to just put the nice little cap, the nice little feather in the cap. Before you go, John, there's one more wish to make. Tomorrow night, you're gonna lose to Kendrick because, bitch, you're my Drake. The fact that the Kendrick and Drake beef keeps seeping itself into the sphere of pulp culture, and how like just Punk latching onto this. Now I saw a few people online being like, oh, people are really like milking the not like us thing. It's just like that's not really what Punk is mentioning here. It's more of the fact of Drake kind of keeps losing to Kendrick, or at least in certain circles and all that. Like I don't want to get in the middle of the beef because I don't really have a stake in between it, except for some agendas in group chats where I like to just kind of poke the bear a little bit. But yeah, the fact that Punk brought up the Drake Kendrick beef, kind of funny, but also like kind of ties into their story really well too, because like they have generational beef with each other. Like they are their each worst enemy, but also too, Punk brings out the best in John, and in turn, John kind of brings out the best in Punk. Like this is the most animated we've had Punk in a while. I mean, yeah, he had the stuff with like Roman and Seth going forward, but I mean, this stuff with Punk, I think, has been really good. At least promo wise. Now we'll have to see how the in ring work goes tomorrow. But yeah, like any other thoughts with like the lines that we had, through this and all that. And I guess Punk's performance with it, because like there were times where like he kind of slipped up a little bit. But I mean,
Yeah.
again, it could just be from traveling and having to memorize this, which this is a lot to memorize, especially in a big Saudi crowd and all that. But yeah, any other thoughts with this promo itself?
Um, I guess the only other thing I could really say is like I'm just glad we got some. I'm just glad we got something entertaining here, really, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like coming into this week's SmackDown, I was really interested to see like what Punk's rebuttal is going to be against what John Cena did last week. I thought it was just going
Yeah.
to be another pipe bomb of him just hitting everything like straight nailed to the coffin, but I just kind of like the change of scenery here where he just ripped off
Mm-hmm.
John this time and did his thing, and it's like we
Yeah.
spoke about before, we spoke about it last night. CM Punk just always brings the best out of everybody whenever he's in the
Mm-hmm.
ring with them during a match, or if he's having a promo segment with them, and it just feels like these two guys are having a lot of fun with this feud right now, which is kind of why I
Yeah.
hope it extends a little bit beyond this.
Yeah. I mean that's why I made my prediction last night with like the whole draw thing, cuz like there's plenty of legs that can still go on to make this go farther
Yeah.
and all that. It just, again, man, this was just a fun segment, and I mean, not to be that kind of person, but it's just like, if you don't like fun, like why are you even watching, But I mean, it kind of goes into the reason that you said. It's like, okay, these could be a lot of just like young fans that maybe just got into it, especially during the pandemic, which I mean a lot of people were getting into new things and all that. As being people who watch and read anime and manga, a lot of people were getting into that stuff during the pandemic, and it's kind of seeped themselves into some fandoms and all that, and
Yep.
kind of brought about a change in dynamics when it comes to online discussion with a few things. But I guess the only other thing I want to bring up really quick when it comes to Punk and John is, so early on the kickoff we did have Punk on there, and he actually apologized for the tweets that he made about like the whole blood money thing towards the Miz and all that, saying, hey, it wasn't against y'all's government, it was towards the Miz. What were, what was your takeaway from all that? Because again, like I'm bringing up the online discourse a lot because it exists, so it should be recognized. A lot of people again just hitting on the hypocrisy of it all, saying, oh well, he was actually talking about the government, blah blah blah, like, oh, how dare he go back on his words, blah blah blah, he's not Punk, blah blah blah. I, I'm just sitting there like, guys, people can change, they can change their
Yeah.
minds, like their whole setting can change, like things can change within them, and if you don't change in life, then what are you doing? Like you're being stubborn and just sticking to a mindset instead of learning and growing, and what kind of life is that other than boring? But what were your thoughts just like hearing that happen or go down and all that?
Honestly, like, so I didn't really catch the kickoff show, but I did see that part of
Hmm.
what was going on. And it's like you said, people change. I mean, there's stuff that I did in the past growing up, or even now, that I regret doing, and I wish I can go back and change everything. That's just a
Hmm.
part of growing up. You just learn things, you get better, you grow from it, and you just learn not to do that
Yeah.
again. It's just a part of life, really, because everybody goes through it. Like, I don't want to hear somebody come on here, like if some random person joined our podcast and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm perfect. I never did anything wrong." It's like, no, no one's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Like, not everybody's like the brightest star in the sky. Like,
Yeah.
people run into situations like that. So it's good that he acknowledged it, because there is some people out there that are celebrities, this like separate out of the wrestling space, where people bring up things that they did in the past and they just try to walk by it and just not acknowledge it at all, and they just keep doing what they're doing. And then
Yeah.
there's those few people that come out there that actually apologize if they did something, and just learn to move forward from it, and to never head down that direction again. So there's like those two kind of people that don't really care, they got what they wanted, they don't care, they just keep doing what they're doing, or the people that actually care. So it seems that
Yeah.
he actually cares, which I do take him to be that kind of person that actually does care. So I'm just glad that you at least have that sort of thing, because he could have just ignored that guy in the crowd. He didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have just ignored him, just like he ignored that
And it,
small child that tried to get his picture and all that, which is the other controversy that came up. But
yeah, I saw
that's
that too. A lot of people are saying it was the security guard, which
yeah,
I
like you
did
can see
see
the
by
security
him.
guard's
Yeah.
arm. Yeah, like sorry, kid, you kind of have to pay. At least in that setting that they seem to be in. But I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the match tomorrow. It should be fun, a fun time. Hopefully, like again, Punk can bring out the best in people, and hopefully he brings out the best in John when it comes to like his heel run and all that. But moving right along, because we have two finals going on tomorrow night with the King and Queen of the Ring. We're finally going to decide and crown the 2025 Kings and Queens of the Ring. We have Cody taking on Randy. We have Jade taking on Asuka. We're going to start with this Cody and Randy segment, which, if you watched the VPN or, watched it live, you notice that there was some technical difficulties for the better part of what, like 25 minutes it was?
I don't.
Um,
That
yeah.
that that was like quite the adventure here. Like, it almost made me
Yeah.
feel like I was like playing a video game or something. You ever played, like, I remember when I was a kid and I played
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time for the first time. I know this is like a random thing to bring up, but it almost
Nah.
made me feel like I was just lost, stuck, didn't know what to do.
Mhm.
And when I was watching the feed, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do now? Because I don't know if it's gonna come back on. Because I wanted to prep myself for what we're doing here. I didn't want to watch it when it's airing
Right.
right now in the United States at USA, like 8 to the 11 o'clock. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here by now. We would be watching whatever's going on with that. But it's like,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I was prepped. So it's like, if I walk away to do something real quick, I don't want to have to miss it, because this right here was one of the things I was looking forward to. So knowing how there's
Mhm.
that one thing, and it could be a video game, like you're looking at some sort of like presentation from Nintendo. Are they gonna talk about this game? You want to stay tuned there, stay tuned towards the end to watch this game. That's how I was with this segment. Like, I wanted to see what these two were gonna say, because these two have known each other for so long, and I really wanted to see like what sort of things they would say to really hype us up for tomorrow night when it
Mhm.
came to this match between Cody and Randy. And it was gone for like good 20 to 30 to 40 minutes or so. I remember it
Mhm.
coming back, and it cut right into that Jacob Batu, not Jacob, the Solo Sokoa and JC Mateo
Yeah.
segment. So it's like, I didn't see what happened. I had to watch it before
Mhm.
we started the show to get the full thing, so I knew exactly what was going on. But they showed like what was there, like what we saw before it cut off, and then there was like a different camera that they were recording with. Like, I don't know if it was like some sort of camera in production or something that was recording it,
Mhm.
but it wasn't the camera that we're used to seeing. Like, I'm pretty sure when you were watching it, because I know you were trying to watch a couple clips, the quality was a little bit different. Not saying the quality was bad. It wasn't picked up the sound and everything. It was, sound was good and everything. It just felt like somebody was holding like one of those cameras to record it. So just to like copy and paste it here just to show what was there, because obviously they have a schedule and they can't just start over and be like, okay, we got to start over now, because then everything's just going to be all over the place.
Yeah, it looked like one of those cameras that they use for like the documentaries and all that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what exact camera it is, but
Like it was being vlogged.
yeah, there was a couple shots because like it kept going back and forth between a couple cameras. There was one of them that kind of just looked like it was taken on an iPhone 16, which I mean, if it was great quality,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, the iPhones do have some good quality. I will give them that.
Yeah, they do. But yeah, so I mean, they go back and forth with their promo. I did try to watch some of it. I mean, the parts I saw, it was kind of the basic bare bones part of it, where it's just like, okay, yeah. So as you see, Drop has the example that we're talking about. So it's like, yeah, kind of going back and forth with the almost a phone camera kind of thing, but it was still really good quality though.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, both from what I saw, both of them were vowing to become King of the Ring, and Randy's going to remind Cody of the 3 most dangerous letters in all sports entertainment, being RKO. But I think my big takeaway from what I heard was that Randy's going to do whatever's possible, whatever he needs to, in order to win the King of the Ring match and to become King of the Ring. Which, I mean, could we get a punt tease? I'm assuming we're going to get a punt tease tomorrow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, because it's like I talked about last night when we were giving our predictions for this. This feels like we're going to start building towards the Randy Orton heel turn, because you can only have Randy Orton do what he's doing for so long, because ever since Randy came back with his injury, he's been a babyface. But one of the things that's been pretty apparent when it came to him was the pay-per-view losses, the shots at getting the titles, not really winning those opportunities because of what happened. Either somebody's costing him, or he gets pinned, or wherever the case may be. And then you're looking at like what he said in this segment itself, because essentially what they were talking about is like, oh yeah, I've Randy Orton pretty much wants to get number 15. He wants to make sure that he could get that revenge on John Cena because of what happened there. Like, obviously there's a lot of stuff going through Randy's head, and obviously it's something that's really bothering him. That's why he approached Cody several times, like he did it the first time and he did it the second time when you had him, Cena, and LA Knight in the ring, where he went up to Cody and it's like, even if I have to go through you. So that tells me right there, like, there's lengths that Randy Orton is willing to go when it comes to capturing this title. Like, a Crossroads isn't going to take him out. A Cody Cutter ain't going to take him out. Like, whatever Cody throws at him in the ring isn't going to be enough to take him out. Like, Randy Orton is going to have to go above and beyond to really take down Cody, because Cody's not the same Cody that we saw before either. He's not going to, like, get knocked out by one RKO. Like, if he does hit an RKO on Cody, which I expect him to, if Cody's doing a Cody Cutter or Cody setting him up for a Crossroads and he does the RKO right there, I don't expect Cody to, like, look up at the lights for a 1, 2, 3. I do expect him to kick out of it, and that's when the adrenaline's going to start kicking in for Randy, and then you're going to see him probably go for that punt kick, which is something that would be pretty interesting, because it's like, whatever was going on with him and KO, it made sense for that to lead to that sort of direction. That's like an unhinged Randy Orton actually willing to go down that direction when it comes to him and Cody Rhodes, because it's like, would you really expect him to do that to somebody like Cody? He even gave him his props when he came to his match of Jey Uso on Mondays. Like, do you really expect him to do that? But if he's super serious about everything that's going on right now, I mean, he might actually try to attempt that, and maybe that's what screws him up, because he decides to do that, or something else happens within the match itself. But I'm just like really intrigued to see like what's going to be happening tomorrow for these guys, because ever since Cody came back in 2022 during WrestleMania, they kept these guys away for a very long time. There could have been many
Mm-hmm.
opportunities to do this. We were even expecting to get this match last year when Cody won the title, when he beat Roman at WrestleMania. We thought this is going to be one of his feuds heading into the summer. I think we even talked about Cody and Randy actually happening at last year's SummerSlam before the whole Solo Sikoa thing. So it's like, we thought we were going to get this match already, but it never happened. And I always thought that it was going to be one of the feuds that WWE had in their head when Cody had the title. And maybe when he wins it back, we can go down that, which would be interesting because it would be a heel Randy this time against a Cody Rhodes, and you could actually build to a proper feud now to give a little bit more time to marinate and everything. But the whole thing, like what Cody said here too, where he was like talking about being embarrassed, saying him and John combined are like 30 titles and everything. I mean, Cody's been more embarrassed this year than Randy Orton. Like, I don't think what happened to Randy Orton at Backlash compares to what happened to Cody at WrestleMania, because we talked about this before. Cody has used steel steps to even throw at AJ Styles after he said, I quit. You were even there to watch him use that chair to win that match against Kevin Owens before the whole pile driver towards the end of that match after it went off air. So he's went lengths to win matches, which is why it was so funny that he never went through with the whole title thing with Cena.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you look, and he's on the spot because that's the biggest stage of them all. That's their Super Bowl. All the eyes are on him. That's their match to close out the show. A lot of people had a lot of things to say about that show, like outside of the whole Travis Scott thing, which I'm not going to even touch on that. I kind of, but it's like, just because of that one instance itself and people posting clips and evidence to support that Cody Rhodes was willing to go down lengths before. I mean, Cody's like,
like at least
Cody's done a lot more.
At least Randy didn't have Travis Scott interfere in his match. At least his interference was from an actual wrestler.
Yeah, and it makes sense because they built to the whole R-Truth thing. He talked to him in the back. Oh, why are you saying this? Cena's better, yada, yada, yada. So it's like the seeds were planted. We saw it coming. It made sense. But it's like, I'm just happy that Cody at least acknowledges his faults, which I'm pretty sure will come into account this year, especially with that rematch at Cena. Like that's we'll obviously touch on that once we get closer and we start slowly getting there. But it's like, I'm just glad there's some acknowledgement there, and I'm just really curious to see what's going to come out of this match, because I mean, I'm glad it's I'm glad it's on a PLE match. I'm glad it's not some fucking SmackDown main event or Raw main event, because these guys need a lot of time.
Yeah, they do. And no commercial breaks amount of time. Like it's one thing for like Goldberg and Gunther to get their probably main event match at Saturday night's main event, because that's only going to be like 5 minutes. You don't need a commercial break for that. It can just be like, hey, here's our entrances, here's the match, wham bam, thank you ma'am, that's the end of the night. Great, thank you everybody. We'll go back to All In now, which oops, didn't mean to mention that, but anyways, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to the match. I'm still thinking Cody is going to pull out the win, because I mean, it's written in the stones right there. I would be surprised if Randy won. Like, I would be legitimately shocked, but it's gonna be Cody. Like, that crown has Cody written all over it. Plus, we could use this as a catapult for that eventual Randy Orton turn on Cody and all that stuff. So we're going to pivot now to the Queen of the Ring, because they had a segment as well. This time, this one was hosted by Wade Barrett. So he's out here to conduct this interview with both finalists. Kind of basic back and forth here, where Jade basically says she's not scared of Asuka. She's got purpose. She's going to be taking everything. Like, she is going to not only become the queen, she's going to become the champion, and she's taking over the world just like Pinky and the Brain try to. But of course, Asuka retorts saying power isn't everything. I've got skill, I've got experience, I've got all the tools I need to defeat you. And do you know who I am? I'm flipping Asuka. And I'm just going to point out just the crowd reactions itself. I mean, Saudi's all behind Asuka.
Oh yes.
I mean, Jade got a little bit. I mean, she got a decent pop, but it was not an Asuka pop. Even Naomi got a bit more of a pop than Jade did,
Yeah.
which is also good on Naomi as well. But I mean, when Naomi came out, her promo was very similar to Seth Rollins' back on Monday, where he was just like, "Hey, I mean, it's cute that you guys are going for this Queen of the Ring title and all that, and to get your title shot at SummerSlam, but don't forget, y'all are basically just fighting to be who's going to be second place towards me because I have all the shots. I call all the shots. I have the prize right here. I have the Money in the Bank contract, which will eventually lead to me possibly getting the title, which it's getting me worried now. It's getting me nervous that Naomi might be the first woman to fail a cash in, which I don't want to happen.
Yeah, me either.
But the flags are kind of being set as well. But yeah, I mean, Naomi tries to get involved. Jade shoves Asuka out of the way, and Asuka just delivers a few kicks to Jade and just lays her out. Don't like that just because of wrestling superstition and all that with
that's
like,
what I was saying.
the person, like the person staying on top normally loses and all that. It's like, don't let that be true. I want Asuka to win. But I mean, I wouldn't be upset Jade winning and all that. Again, go check out our predictions from last night. Again, pretty simple, straightforward segment, at least for me. Like nothing really too much to drag on. Because again, like Naomi's promo is just the same as Seth's from Monday. Just hey, y'all are fighting for second place. I got the power.
Yeah, I'm hoping like Naomi doesn't have a failed cash in because that would suck because I feel like out of everything, like with her being like the ultimate villain right now for her current storyline with Bianca and Jade and Tiffany and all of them, I just feel like she deserves it because she has busted her ass off ever since she started this whole heel run, and I feel like she should be rewarded in the end. I've seen reports online saying that she's supposed to have a big year in 2025, and we can clearly see that with the new gimmick. We could see her as Miss Money in the Bank, so I'm hoping she gets that title too because she deserves it. Give us something a little bit different because it's been years since we've seen her as a champion, so I'd absolutely love to see that, especially if you dive a little bit deeper into a feud, depending on who she's feuding with at the time, if it's Bianca or whoever the case may be that she happens to bump heads with. Like, it would just be really cool to see. But yeah, just looking at the segment itself, I mean, I had a feeling Jade was going to say what she's going to say because that's like the most typical thing that comes out of a lot of people's mouths when it comes to them going up against Asuka, where they're like, "Oh yeah, I know most people fear you, but I don't. Like, I'm not scared of you at all. Like, I got purpose. Really? I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that." But it's like what Asuka was saying. It's like, yeah, power isn't everything because power can get to your head and you can be corrupted that way. So it's like, Jade can look at herself in the mirror and be like, well, I'm super strong and everything. I can just, I can use Jaded on Asuka right there, and then I'll be able to roll her up for the pin 1, 2, 3. But it's like, something like that isn't going to like take out Asuka like that easily, which again, like I started like moving away from that whole like typical like WWE 101 when it comes to the person standing tall, because there's been several things that we've seen on the shows before where they pulled that kind of stunt and then nothing ever happened. It was like a different result.
Exactly.
Like I remember like 2 years ago, you had LA Knight go up against Sheamus that one night on SmackDown because they had something going on, and then you had that Slim Jim Battle Royal the next night. A lot of people were looking at that match that he had with Sheamus and like, holy shit, LA Knight won this match. Are they gonna fuck it up again? Is he not going to win that Slim Jim Battle Royal? He ended up winning, and then he ended up pretty much his career ended up taking off. He teamed with Cena. He went up against Roman at that Crown Jewel that year. He even had things with like I think he even had stuff like Cody last year as well, where he stood tall a couple times, and then we ended up getting him, becoming champion in the end. So I just I'm just honestly hoping, like I said before, because I feel like this makes the most sense, and I feel like she
Mhm.
was involved here for a reason when it came to Naomi coming out. I'm honestly hoping it's one of those things, and granted, we could still get there either way if I want to see Asuka and Io, but it's like I'm just hoping it's one of those things where she's involved in this segment because to me, at least to me as a person, if I'm Naomi button heads with somebody like Jade, like I have this hatred for one person, I don't ever want to see them with that belt ever again. It's like kind of like the whole thing with Seth Rollins and Punk, where if Seth
Mhm.
Rollins, I don't think Seth's gonna come out tomorrow, but it's like if Seth were to come out tomorrow and cost Punk that match, I wouldn't be surprised. And that's not a prediction. That's just me going along the lines where I'm saying like you hate somebody so much you want to stop them from achieving anything. To me,
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem right if Naomi just lets Jade win that tournament because she gets easy access to Tiffany, regardless if she has that contract or not. You want to make sure the
Mhm.
person you hate the most doesn't move further. You want them to move down more and more and more. Like you want to bury them until they can't ever get out of that hole, like deep in the
Yeah.
ground that you just throw at them. And I don't know, like another thing too, because this is one thing that I know they do a lot when it comes to a lot of these things is they normally have like one Raw person win and one SmackDown person win. So if they
Yeah.
end up going, and that's not like that's just a common thing that they've been doing a lot. It's been pretty consistent all the time. So it's like I don't know if they would like Cody winning makes sense, but it's just to me I don't know if they would have like another like two SmackDown people winning. It could be different if she was
It
on a
wouldn't.
different show, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me just because of. I mean, you would point out the whole like, oh, standing tall at the go home show. Sometimes that's a sign. Sometimes it's not. Like that's just that's the kind of the same thing here too. I mean, it could be both people from SmackDown win, or it's a Raw and a SmackDown person win. Like who knows? Like
Yeah,
that's just the toss up that we have to kind of live with and be prepared for and all that. Um,
yeah,
yeah, and I agree. Like Naomi interfering tomorrow in Jade's match, same reasons. I mean, she doesn't like Jade. She doesn't want Jade to succeed. Why should you get a title shot? I mean, eh, I could see her still also like not interfering, but like cashing in during the SummerSlam match too. But that's that's a whole prediction talk about at a later date if it were to happen and all that. But kind of sticking with like the whole Naomi train because she did try to cash in tonight, which I don't know why you would in the middle of a last woman standing match, but
yeah.
that's besides the point. Um, yeah, so our WWE Women's title was on the line in a last woman standing match with Tiffany Stratton taking on Nia Jax. Uh, I was not a fan of this match. It was it was booked weird for me because like you have Nia. This was basically all Nia the whole time. The whole like what 15-ish minutes that it was,
Think
maybe a
so.
little bit longer. Um, this was just all Nia. And the thing is, like, Nia's the powerhouse in the women's division. And like she's doing things like, oh, I'm gonna do a splash onto Tiffany to the outside on a through a table. Tiffany still gets up. Okay. I'm gonna not only do an annihilator, but an annihilator with a steel chair after that. Tiffany still gets up. And like at least for me, if it was like Tiffany still surviving, I probably would have had her do the whole rolling out of the ring and like landing on her feet and like leaning on the ring kind of thing, like almost like a desperation, like, all right, I made it kind of thing. But she just straight up got up in the ring. So it's just like moments like that. And then like they had brawled to like the ramp and all that. There was a where like Nia Jax was walking back down the ramp and she like looks back at Tiffany. She's like, uh, I can't fight you anymore. And I'm just, it kind of took me out of it because I'm like, you were on top for most of this match, and now you're just walking away. Like
Yeah.
you're like casually walking. I don't know. It really took me out of it, and it was fine, I guess. But it was nowhere near as good as their match that they had like a few months ago, where we thought it was over. But I do at least like the finish, how that happened, because like with Naomi coming out trying to cash in during the match, which again, why wouldn't you wait till after the match? But whatever. It was still thanks to the Money in the Bank briefcase that helped Tiffany Stratton beat Nia Jax, because like she hits her, Nia like falls, goes into a couple tables set up in the on the outside of the ring, and that's enough to put Nia away. Cool, great, awesome. What do you think of this?
I mean, the match
Am
was
I alone? Am I alone in this? Like,
no, the match was whatever for me. I was just waiting
yeah,
for this to conclude so Tiffany can just move on, because she even said herself, like, Nia tried confronting her again about the women's championship, that she didn't even want to do this. So I
yeah,
was just waiting for this to be over. I knew we were going to get some sort of cash in here, because I mean, it makes sense to at least
hmm,
try to attempt one considering the kind of match it is. But it's
yeah,
like, I was just like waiting for this to be over. Really, I just want to see new
hmm,
things. That's why I'm hoping, like, after Night of Champions, when it comes to Raw, when it comes to um SmackDown, like that's when we're gonna start getting into SummerSlam,
hmm,
because I mean, you got a women's PLE next month, so that's just focused on the ladies
yeah,
there, and the NXT pay-per-view is just for the NXT people. So the next main
yeah.
show that you really start firing up
Well,
a lot of things is SummerSlam, when it comes to whenever we hit that in like early August. So
hmm,
I mean, yeah, I mean, the match is what it is. Tiffany retained as I expected. And I did
yeah,
like how she went for the prettiest moonsault, had both of them on each other. Thought that was smart. And
yeah,
yeah, that's it, really.
yeah. I mean, there was a couple things here and there in the matches. Again, like I did really like the Nia Jax salute, and then just
Oh,
like
yeah.
falling on Tiffany through the table. I did like that spot, but like just as a whole, the match was just eh. And I mean, kind of like what Shahab here in the chat saying. I mean, this is like the third week in a row that Naomi's tried to cash in. So we're doing that thing kind of like kind of very similar to what Tiffany started doing, which is like trying to cash in every single week, which is like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, like trying to catch your opportunity, kind of try to catch them off guard. But the more times you do it, the more times they're going to be expecting it anyways.
Yeah.
So just like try to do the Seth Rollins thing. Like again, not to like copy again from Seth Rollins with what you're doing, Naomi, but like try to be a little, take your own words for reference. Proceed with caution. Like don't do it in the middle of a last woman standing match. Do it at the end when they're both tired. They both feel like they're done. And then you're just like, and don't even have your entrance music go. Come in from the crowd. Just hit them in the back with the damn briefcase. Bada bing, bada boom. Pin them for the title. There you go. There's your title opportunity and all that. But yeah, I'm ready for it all to move on. So we're actually gonna move on ourselves to the other women's title match that we had tonight, the US title being put on the line. Zelina Vega taking on Giulia. Um, a couple pre-match vignettes beforehand with Giulia saying how much she didn't need to really work hard. She's just that damn good. She's going to use Zelina as a stepping zone, and Zelina's not going to be taken for granted. The match happens. I mean, that's it. Giulia wins clean as a whistle, which all right, great. Um, I feel bad because like with Zelina's run as women's US champion, she didn't really get too far with it because like she did a lot of stuff with Chelsea and like the Secret Harvest, but she never got like a lot of mic time at all when she was the champion.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like Zelina's really good on the mic, so I don't know why they would just not have her cut any promos whatsoever. Um, and then with Giulia, I mean, more power to Giulia because she is really good. She's a great star to have on your roster, but like, I guess she's going to be holding on to the title because like Triple H, he wasted no time getting his finger point picture up. Like
Yeah.
he put that shit up.
I even saw something from Corey today, which we reported news from him several times during grappling with the week, and he even said himself, like, yeah, this is like the beginning to, you know, really pushing Giulia when it comes to what Triple H wants to do with her. And I believe it too, because Triple H has always been a fan of Josh Seat wrestlers, and he always has his favorites. And like you said, he didn't hesitate to take a picture with her at all. Like, I'm pretty sure he was waiting right past the way that they normally come out. Well, waiting right there when she was coming back with that title to do something with her. So, I mean, this is what we need with the title, because it's like we spoke about before with the IC title. Now things are actually starting to head down the right direction when you have big names like Becky Lynch and Bayley being involved with the title. Now you got somebody that's very experienced and a very good wrestler like Giulia that can actually do something with the title. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing what Triple H is going to do. Like, is he going to have her be super dominant? Is he going to have her kind of like push the needle a little bit, kind of like what Asuka did initially with the NXT Championship? Because I can see him doing something like that when it comes to really elevating that mid-card title to really make it feel important, because a lot of people were saying you got to throw it on Giulia if you want to add some sort of value to it. And as soon as you do that, and you have that on her, I mean, got the look of the champion, and she can put on really good matches. So I'm just looking that was basically the highlight to me. Like, the match basically was there to give us a new champion. I don't really care about the match as much. I just care about what direction this title is going to lead. And that's just creator's fault when it comes to Zelina, and it also took me out of it as well. And it's their fault that I really wasn't behind her because of how they wrote Zelina just ever since she won that title, and just feuding with the same people. So I'm just hoping that, you know, we do a couple good things with this. You could easily do Giulia and Alexa Bliss, you know, do something a little bit different down the line when it comes to like other names outside of what you did before.
Yeah, and I at least do want to highlight at least the beginning of the match, because there was some good mat wrestling in there, like with Zelina kind of starting off with like a low single leg takedown, and then like them doing like some quick pinfall attempts and all that, like getting out of each other, and then like both of them kind of going down, like doing the same kick, kind of showing that like, okay, they're both similar in a way. But I mean, this was Giulia's match to win, which again sucks, because I do like Zelina Vega as an act. It's just, you know, again, like you said, it's creative's fault for, you know, what they did with her, you know, before, during, and hopefully after she's the champion, she was the US champion, maybe now they can like get something done better with her and all that. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. They could have a rematch at Evolution. I mean, that could happen too. Maybe have a longer, better showcase for them. We'll have to wait and see with that. WWE tag titles were on the line as well. The Street Profits took on the Wyatts. Kind of tying into with like what we get later on is, in fact, we could probably move that discussion.
Yeah, we can do that.
When it comes to like the tag team. So we'll start with the tag.
Yeah, I'll just keep the same time code for it.
Yeah. We'll just start with the tag titles, because like the match was fine, but it ends in a DQ because like all the other tag teams are out there and they just start attacking the Street Profits and the Wyatts, and a big old brawl comes out again. Boy. Like, what are we doing? Like,
yeah, see, that was my issue, because
this is the same thing we've been getting all year with the SmackDown Tag Division. Like, don't get me wrong, SmackDown Tag Division is really good, but it's like we keep doing the same thing over and over again, where it's like all the teams are out there, everyone's getting a shot in, and it's like, are we gonna do something that involves all the teams, or are we just gonna keep pussyfooting around and having like these like single quote unquote tag team matches where it's just like, oh, just one team against each other, except for the one time we got a TLC match outside of WrestleMania. Like, what are we doing? With the tag team division?
Yeah, that's the one of the things that I heard about. Like, this is one of the things that like cut off for me, but I saw this soon after, and I had a feeling something like this was going to happen. Which again, I haven't been a big fan of this, because it's same shit that they've been doing like over and over and over again, where it's like, okay, you have a match start, the two teams going back and forth a little bit. All of a sudden, you got a DQ. The whole roster comes out. They start brawling. Eric Rowan comes in. He starts beating up people. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, it wasn't like this before. And this all really happened when they started like booking the Wyatt Sicks in the tag division. Like, if they went off and did their own thing, we wouldn't be talking about this. But ever since they incorporated the Wyatt Sicks into this entire thing when it comes to the tag titles, we've been getting this kind of stuff. Because before we had that match with the Street Profits and the Fraxium.
I think it was Fraxium.
Yeah, it was Fraxium.
Because Fraxium actually beat them.
Yeah.
And then they get the so it's just like, what, like, can't we just have can't we just have the feud that's for the title? And then, because you guys were starting to cook something up with like a feud that was outside the title with DIY and Motor City Machine Gun. Like, that would have been slapped again. Like, have them have like a number one, because hey, Los Garza have the freaking AAA titles on them, which cool to see those like on WWE TV. That was really neat. Because like the backstage segment we got earlier in the, but it's just, you start getting into that thing that, again, I call the oh shoot, now just escaped my mind, the law of diminishing returns. It's like you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over, but it just it starts dwindling down. You start just not getting affected by it. You're starting to see that with a lot of people talking about like the table spots, for example. Like, I saw a couple people saying, oh, we're getting all these table spots, which, I mean, you kind of get those anyways when it's pro wrestling, but I think it's just more enhanced because of the whole Slim Jim thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this segment was just nothing, which sucks because like earlier on in the night, we get DIY taking on Andrade and Fenix just almost out of nowhere, because you had DIY in the back being like, oh, tag teams, we got to get together because why are the Wyatt getting a tag team title match? Which I believe I asked that same exact question last week. Like, why are they getting a title match when like they just had one match back? But okay, fine, whatever. And out of everybody, because like I guess the other tag teams couldn't be asked to freaking face off against DIY tonight. No, let's just get Andrade and involved with all this and be like, hey, Andrade, go find a partner. At least you found Rey Fenix, and I mean, at least they have some sort of connection, and they were a good team, and at least this match slapped. Like, this, out of all the matches itself tonight, this might have been match of the night for me. Because it was just really good, but like it sucks because it's like you have a really good match like this, but then like everything else around it is kind of shit.
Yeah, no, it's just really unfortunate because it's like you can put this kind of television on with Rey Fenix and Andrade against DIY, but you can't do that with anything else on the show. Like, you can't just have a normal tag match with the Street Profits and the Wyatts. Even if the Street Profits win or the Wyatts win, you can't just have like a clean, like some conclusion to it. Always has to be a brawl all the time. Like, why?
Yeah,
it's like here you have Nick Aldis and Baldy back there talking about what they want to do with the women's tag titles, but they're not trying to focus on what's going on with this brawl, which should be pretty apparent with Nick Aldis, and usually he's on top of things all the time. So it's like you got to really figure things out. Like, you got to set restrictions now when it comes to this. Like, this is one of the times where I don't mind if people are banned from the ring now because of how much this fucking happens.
Either that or like you could have made it a lumberjack, like when all the tag teams came out there. Yeah, it would have. And I'm pretty sure like lumberjack matches, they're allowed to get a little bit like, maybe not in the, but I mean, it's been forever. I don't even remember the last lumberjack, at least in WWE.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I mean, they're at least allowed to get somewhat physical, so you could have still had like played upon that at least with it, especially with Uncle Howdy and Eric too. Like, they could have still act like lumberjack. still done what you did tonight with it. Just we could have maybe actually had a legit winner. But man, I don't know. I want better for the tag teams, not only just on Raw, but on SmackDown too. Because like we're getting to the point where it's just like we're doing the same shit over and over again, and it gets tiring after a while.
Yeah.
But moving right along to I guess our main final segment. Like we got a couple quick fire segments we'll hit on, but like our last really like big segment here. So big old Jimmy Uso was gonna be taking on JC Mateo. And so the match itself was all right. We had a backstage segment earlier on where like Solo had mentioned, all right, we're gonna try to get Jimmy on our side still again. But I mean, if he's not gonna play ball, we're not gonna play ball. We're gonna beat him down just like we're gonna beat down Jacob Fatu tomorrow. The match was all right. And Solo, he continued to run interference throughout the match. And Mateo wins clean after hitting the Tour of the Isles. So cool, great on that. And after the match, we have Solo trying to bring Jimmy in back into his family, his version of the Blood. But I love the fake out we get where it's like you think Jimmy's gonna hug him. I mean, he's not, but like there's just like the slight little moment where you think, oh, he's gonna hug him. Nah, he just slaps his brother and all that. Beatdown happens. Jacob Fatu comes out to kind of save Jimmy, to kind of, pay him back for last week. And I like, too, how later on we did get them talking to each other, that, Jimmy and Jacob being like, hey, we're not really fully cool with each other, but we can at least respect each other enough to, like, not have to deal with Solo and his crap that he's trying to pull right now. So I do at least like that acknowledgement. But, I mean, I thought this was fine. Again, just kind of laying some more groundwork for tomorrow's match. No matter what happens tomorrow night, I think it'll be one of those cinematic things, that cinema that people like to talk about and everything when it comes to like Bloodline. I'm just glad JC Mateo got another win. That's always a plus.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I honestly feel like we might see Hikuleo tomorrow. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I saw a report that he's in the area. He's been doing a lot of these main event matches. So it's like, I feel like it's only a matter of time sooner or later, because you got to figure out like what's the next chapter here. Like what's the next big roadblock for like Jacob Fatu now? Like he already has Jimmy by his side now. Like what else is going to come there? Because you got him and Jimmy against JC Mateo and Solo, so it's kind of even now, but Solo always has like that trick up his sleeve, so it's only a matter of time before that guy shows up. I'm hoping it's not one of those things where he ends up losing the title because of it, because that could possibly happen. I don't think it will, but yeah. I definitely feel like we could see Hikuleo take part in the match tomorrow. I'm just hoping they can get in the ring and like have a match. I don't want to see like a whole bunch of DQs and stuff again, because we just went on a little tangent with our last segment here. Like I don't want it. I want to at least have finishes here tomorrow. And if it's, at least if it isn't like I mean, I guess in a way I don't know. I'm just hoping we get something out of their match, because I definitely feel like this isn't the last match between Solo and Jacob.
Oh no. Yeah, no, they're gonna prolong this towards SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, nothing to really worry about there. But again, like nothing to really go about. See, that's just the thing with these SmackDowns. Like before these PLEs, they're really just like periods. Like at the end of sentences.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, this is just the end mark before tomorrow night. When we get to the next chapter and all that. And I mean, this segment, along with many of the other segments tonight, kind of played along with that. Yeah, so onwards to our quickfire segments. We got a couple things here to just kind of quickly go through and maybe give quick thoughts about. We get a quick little backstage segment with Alexa and Charlotte, where like Alexa makes it known to Charlotte, hey, I'm not trying to be friends with you, just more of allies with convenience. So I guess, friends with benefits, if you will. Uh, but they can't say that on TV, because double entendre. I'm assuming that's probably gonna lead to them being a team, maybe
Yeah.
going for the tag titles, which fine, that gives life to the tag title.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely the direction they're probably gonna align with each other,
Yeah.
which I wouldn't mind. I mean, you want to throw it on a credible team. I mean, there you go, right there.
Yeah. I mean, both
At
of them
least,
are former tag champions too.
yeah.
Mm. But and then our last little quickfire segment, I mean, has a couple moments with everything. So backstage segment with the two GMs. They're about to talk to Aleister Black, but Ron Killings comes in, interrupts this meeting that Black is trying to have with the GMs. Ron wants John Cena, like he is obsessed with John Cena, so I guess that's going to be his story throughout the rest of 2025, trying to get his hands on John Cena yet again.
Mhm.
And I like how at the end of this, Aleister Black just like he hushes the GMs and just walks off. And later on, we get Ron Killings just going into the ring, calling out John Cena, eating a black mass and all that. And then later on, like I think it was like after the commercial break, Damian
Yeah.
Priest confronts Black, just saying, "Hey, maybe next time look at R-Truth in the face when you do that, and try to get his receipt and all that." So I guess we're leaning towards a program with Aleister Black and Damian Priest, which give me that will
Yeah, I
be
don't.
really good. I think we had talked about that last night too, or
Yeah, I wouldn't
maybe
mind
it's
it. I
like
mean, it gives us something
Mhm.
different.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, maybe Mello's getting involved. Carmelo goes up to Priest, is just like, "Hey, maybe you should stay out of Ron Killing's way because the truth hurts and all that stuff." So maybe Mello's getting involved here as well, which gives something to Carmelo Hayes, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is just more of just laying the groundworks for what I guess these four guys are going to be doing going. Yeah, I mean, the match between Aleister Black and Damian Priest, when that happens, that's gonna hit hard. But yeah, any thoughts on that?
I am looking forward to that whenever that's in the works.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to give Aleister Black something. Like all he really did so far was he had a match with The Miz, he had a match with Mello twice. He took
Hmm.
place in the King of the Ring tournament. He ended up getting thrown out by LA Knight. He ended up having a match with LA Knight. Obviously, you ended up having Seth and his boys come out and just attack everybody there, leading up to Money in the Bank. So I'm hoping with at least this, it gives something to
Hmm.
Aleister Black that's actually worthwhile, that we can actually care
Yep.
for, because he deserves to be treated a little bit better. I did see a report come out a couple days ago saying that he has like a lot planned for him, so I'm hoping this is
Hmm.
like the kickstart to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, being in that upper mid card position would be really good for Alistair before hopefully eventually putting him on Raw and be good for that world title. I mean, hell, if Seth ends up holding on to that world title,
Yeah,
him and Aleister Black running it back, ooh,
yeah, I wouldn't mind.
ooh, I wouldn't mind that either. Like, give that to me, insert that into my vein. But yeah, I mean, with that, I mean, we've kind of reached the end of our show. Again, like these Smackdowns, like I said beforehand, these Smackdowns, like right before the PLEs, not really much to them. It's just more of just like a hey, tomorrow night is the thing. We're ready to do this. So really, they're just shows for these PLEs. Raw is really the show anymore for the PLEs. But I mean, it was a fine SmackDown. If anything, I'm glad that this marks the end of 3 Hour SmackDown
Yeah, I know.
because we got confirmation on WWE TV starting next week. 2 Hour SmackDown returning. Praise be the Lord above, or whatever you may worship, whether it's below or above. Thank you for giving us 2 hour SmackDowns again, because the 3 hour format has been the past, what, like 6 months, 7 months almost. Like, we've been having the 3 hour show for a while. But yeah, I mean, any final thoughts, overall opinions on SmackDown tonight? Again, I thought it was a fine show. The biggest talking point really was the Punk stuff, but again, like Cody and Randy finally coming to words. Some of the title matches tonight hit or miss, but you heard us talk about the tag titles and all that whole scene. Um, any final words before we head on out?
So the only things I really have to say is that I'm glad we have a new women's US champion, so I'm hoping that goes down the right direction. And I mean, we're gonna sound like a broken record here talking about the whole tag team thing. I'm just hoping we find a conclusion to that, because I get tired of all these DQ finishes. It's just really agitating, and all the like constant brawls. It just gets too repetitive. But I mean, other than that, though, we're looking forward tonight to see what happens with Cena and John. Hopefully, we can get some good stuff out of that. Cody and Randy, I'm expecting a banger out of that. Definitely there. I feel like out of both of these King and Queen of the Ring matches, like the one that could really go either way is Jade and Asuka. So very curious to see what comes out of that. But other than that, though, I mean, that's all I have to say. And like you, I'm glad that we have these 2-hour SmackDowns, so we can end around around the same time we normally do with our Raw shows.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh my
tired of
gosh,
these
I
3
can't
hours.
wait. Same here. It's been killer, but I mean, they've still been fun though. But yeah, the 2-hour format. I'm glad we're going to be getting back to that, because who boy. But yeah, that's basically the end of our show. So thank you guys so much for checking out our episode tonight. We got episode 160 coming out tomorrow for Night of Champions. We'll probably be on the same time we did tonight.
Yeah.
Give or take, maybe earlier, maybe later. Who knows? Just the only way to find out is if you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, so you get notified of when we do go live, so that way you can catch us. And if you miss it, you're at least still subscribed. You can check out the VOD whenever you can and listen to our thoughts and opinions on Night of Champions. I think, even though the card may seem underwhelming, we might be in for a really good time here, because usually those underwhelming cards come with really great fun action and all that. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Chat, thank you for checking us out. Yeah, we're just gonna end it there, I guess. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, we got a plethora of social media accounts. You can see all of the handles there in the yellow on your screen at Animal We Studio. That is the parent company. You got Legendy Vash. Unfortunately, he was not here tonight. He had to go on a mission for The Rock to steal some more souls and all that. So I guess he's really working overtime for the whatever. Fine. Have fun with old Rocky Boy there, Vash. You got Drop This Box. You got at Watkins MW, at Weebs of the Ring. That's where you can find us on basically any social media site, as well as using the hashtag Weebs of the Ring, because that's a good way to kind of keep the conversation going with us. We can check you out, see what you're talking about, make sure you guys have anything positive to say or negative. We'll listen to any feedback and say any feedback you guys have for us is only great, only beneficial to us to move forward and to continue to grow our own product as we continue down this trek through the wonderful world of professional wrestling. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Animal Studio. Thanks to our production team for all of their hard work every single day of every single week of every single month of every single year going into all this. Thank you once again for joining us. And remember, as always, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you tomorrow for Night of Champions.
See you guys.